We know mansions will play a big part in the next gtaonline update, but one thing we don't know just yet is what function they're going to provide to the player. And so today I want to go over kind of a wish list as to what features I hope the mansions bring. Because in the past we've had luxurious properties. The yacht is what immediately comes to mind for me. It's a very expensive property that we can buy, but it doesn't really serve a purpose to the player. There's not a whole lot we can do with the yacht. And I really don't want that to be the case with the mansions when they come to the game. Now, I also posted this question on my YouTube community page asking what features you guys would like to see in the Mansions update. So what I'm going to do is first go over the features that I would personally want to see, and then include some of your guys' recommendations as well. And the part with my suggestions is recorded before I even look at the comments, by the way. So if there's any overlap, then that's just because we have the same ideas. Before we do begin though, we have a couple of leaks, I guess you could say, from Tez Funds 2 about the mansions. He said that script leftovers suggest the upcoming mansions in the winter update will feature functionality similar to the casino penthouse, such as party hosting. And we will also have slots to install arcade cabinets. Bear in mind, this is subject to change. So just a couple of features that will likely be included off the bat there. The way I think the mansions should work is they should be a complete endgame property, meaning they should be very expensive, like $10 million as a starting price. And they should be stocked full of features that we have at various other properties, with some new features as well. Off the top of my head, I can think of the obvious snack bowl. That's a simple one that should be just a given. The master control terminal should be there that lets us control all the businesses from it. And potentially laptops that were previously only accessible in other businesses like the car wash or the Mackenzie airfield. Rockstar has been using the new aircraft spawn features with the last two updates. The Mackenzie airfield lets us spawn planes from a blue circle outside the property, and the Heli Tours business allows us to do the same thing but with helicopters. If the mansion has its own personal helipad, then that same option to spawn helicopters from a blue circle should be there as well on the mansion. We probably won't be able to spawn planes though unless they go all out on the mansions and include a personal airfield as well. That would be insane, but I just don't see that happening. I don't think there's quite enough room for an airfield at the locations where the mansions are going to be. Our own personal armory like we have in the agency should be included as well, letting us buy weapons, armor, ammo, and special ammo from there. When it comes to garage space, it needs a huge garage. If this is going to be the final gtaonline update, because GTA 6 is due out in May of next year as of now, we at least need a 50-car garage. That's really necessary. Tez mentioned the ability to have arcade cabinets like we do in the penthouse, but I want them to take it a step further than that and give us some brand new minigames like pool, air hockey, maybe even a mini bowling alley. Just something that we can do only from the mansion that gives us a reason to go back there. And then while we have parties, it also gives us an activity to do instead of just walking around and getting drinks from a bar like we do with the casino penthouse when we have parties there. In the customization department of the mansion, I want to see a level of customization that we've never seen before in gtaonline. We've seen the ability to add decorations to our properties with the casino penthouse decorations that you can buy and place around. And we can even change the card table in the penthouse too, but they're all just from preset locations. With the stilt houses, the newer apartments, and the office interiors, we can choose a style, but the layout remains mostly the same still. With the mansions, I want to see the ability to have every piece of furniture moved to where we want it to be in the interior. I believe 5M servers already have this feature, so it's definitely a possible feature to have in gtaonline. And because there are only two locations, or at least two locations that we currently know about for these mansions, it would allow the player to make their mansion unique to themselves if everyone has a different layout despite there only being the same two physical locations. At the very least, the interiors will look different from person to person, and that would be really interesting to just go and see everyone's different ideas for how they have their layout set up inside. In short, I just want the mansion to be a best of all properties kind of thing, giving the best features from each property that we've had over the years, and then some brand new ones exclusive to the mansion to justify their really high price tag. Now let's go over some of the suggestions that you guys responded to my question with on my post. Captain Ghosty said massive parties that you can host and some kind of achievement room with plaques for everything you've done, like the Garment Factory's desk. Well, based on what Tez has said, it looks like that first one will indeed be true, being able to host parties. The second one would also fit great though, especially for an endgame property to show off your character's long career in gtaonline. Since there's not going to be any more businesses added after this because it's the final update, then this would be the perfect way to show off all the accomplishments over the years into one central place. A What's-His-Face responded with a safe zone around each mansion covering the property's grounds up to the fence line like yacht defenses, although a much smaller area. It'll allow outdoor gatherings, car meets on large driveways, etc. individual customization pieces rather than preset interiors, like the casino penthouse art pieces. It could almost be like The Sims, being able to purchase different types of furniture and decorations. Bonus points if it was all customizable in its placement, allowing players to rotate the items and move them around the room. Now, with the inclusion of animals in online, we should be able to buy pets of varying species and breeds. They could have multiple different spawn locations you could find them at, like Chop in the Agency, or they could have a designated house/bed/enclosure. The animal's house, bed, enclosure could have different models to choose from, and could maybe even have different spots it could be placed. You could interact with the animal, whether it be simply petting it or feeding it, depending on the species. You could play with it, like throwing the tennis ball for Chop when walking him in single player. I honestly didn't even think about animals. That would be very cool to have a pet just roaming around the mansion that we could choose if it's a cat or dog or something, and the specific breed of it. The interior customization is almost exactly how I like to see it as well, and being able to have a specific laptop in the mansion that we can buy specific furniture from could be an interesting idea as well. I also like the idea of having a safe area outside the mansion if it worked just like the yacht defenses did, where you couldn't use weapons while they were on. However, the only problem is if multiple people own the same property in the same location, then I'm not sure how that would work if one player wanted the defenses on and one player wanted them off, because the yachts can only have one location occupied at the same time, so they don't have that same problem that mansions would eventually have. Threat of Nemesis said the ability to do mini home invasion heists, break into other mansion properties to steal goods to customize your mansion's interior, rather than paying for and selecting a pre-made mansion interior. The higher the difficulty, the higher the quality of stolen goods. Tech, furnishings, kitchen appliances, etc. Also add dumb stuff like a stuffed Bigfoot and alien. That is actually a pretty good idea, and I'm going to expand on that a bit. Imagine if the business side of the mansion update is us performing mansion robberies or heists. If they truly give us complete customization of the layout and placement of furniture within the mansion, it would be extremely cool to use that in order to randomize the heist locations for us. Imagine every time we started a mansion heist, the interior would probably be massive, but at the same time, everything would be set up differently so it would never feel like it's the same exact place you're robbing over and over again. And imagine the loot on the heist are just the valuable props that we can either steal for our own mansions to place them in, or collect them and sell them off later for money. So it's then both a heist and a business merged into one, where the heist finale is you stealing the equipment, and then it's your choice to either keep the items for your own mansion, or you can sell them off in a sell mission of some sorts for profit. And it would be entirely RNG based if you get really good loot to spawn in the finale, or maybe not so good loot. I feel like that would just make the replayability insanely high for something like this. I love that idea. Moving along, Red Hunted said Diddy parties. Well, if we do get the option to host parties, I guess you can let your imagination run wild there. Callsign Ghost said he wants a meet area for car guys, glass personal garage that can be viewed from outside by other players like IRL mansions, and a proper bar. I don't know if something like that would be possible just because of the fact that multiple players are going to own the same property at the same location, but what I can see them doing is having a place inside the mansion to place a few cars to show off so that when you invite other players to your mansion, they're on like a specific area that you could show them off that way. It would also be really cool if we could have a place inside the mansion for other players to bring their own cars to have car shows in without anyone affecting them. And please put in good lighting this time. The car meet and the casino garage both have horrible lighting. Ideally, if we had the option to change what kind of lighting we have and the color of the lights on the fly through the interaction menu, that would be great for a dedicated car show area in the mansion. Surrogaria has an interesting idea here. Personal Merryweather NPC bodyguards with whoever our new contact is. Probably the pre-real estate itself through a phone call. The more you pay, the more bodyguards you get to take with you in whatever vehicle or situation you're going into, like up to 9 bodyguards, 1,000 to 1,500 each. I don't know if that idea would work as in the bodyguards follow you around the map and stuff, although it would be interesting, but I do think there is another way that bodyguards could work with the mansions. What if bodyguards are like the mansion style of yacht defenses, where the mansion has their own bodyguards that stay on site? So imagine a Mark II oppressor tries to cause mayhem around the mansion. Well, then you have the guards outside set to shoot on sight, and then they just aimbot them off their bike with sniper rifles, so it's like an anti-air mechanism that isn't just a bunch of cannons. It would make much more sense for that to be the case instead of having yacht defense style cannons on top of the mansion. Maybe the bodyguards would shout at you like, "You are entering private property grounds, leave the premises at once." And then if they don't leave or don't stop fooling around, then they turn into the Blackwater snipers from RDR2, and the person gets instantly sniped off of whatever vehicle they're in, their shitter vehicle. That would be pretty funny. The good news is that we all seem to be on the same page with regards to what we want to see from the mansions. Out of the 300 or so comments on my post, which is a lot by the way, so thank you guys for contributing to the conversation. But going through all of them, almost all of them mentioned having customization of the mansion, whether it be decorations or more specifically, a way to actually change where the furniture is placed. So many people said that. And the same thing with pets. A lot of people actually mentioned that as a feature too that they want. So I do hope we get at least a couple of the highly requested features, because if a bunch of people out of 300 comments mentioned it on my post, then Rockstar should definitely know that people want it. I'm sure they're getting requests for it through their own feedback page also. And speaking of that feedback page, I will leave it down in the description if you want to link your own ideas to them too. But that is going to wrap up this video. Once again, thank you guys for contributing to the conversation. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, feel free to leave a like as well as subscribe to my channel for more GTA Online content. I also want to give a huge shout out to all of my channel members for your support. If you'd like to become a member for some exclusive perks, you can either use the join button or the link that's down in the description. And as always, thanks for watching and have a great day.